Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on our ISTQB AI Tester certification. We are in chapter 1 talking about introduction to AI, and today we'll be stepping into the next segment of this chapter, which is 1.8 Introduction to Pre-trained Models. In order to talk about pre-trained model, as the name suggests, these are the models which can be used in AI-based systems which are already trained. Now, why are we talking about pre-trained models? Why we're not looking forward to have our own training done? Because it can be expensive to train an ML model. It's not that simple like building up an application and laying it out in the market or releasing it to a set of people and people start making use of it. Here, first the data has to be prepared and the model must be trained. That means first the data preparation is the activity which consumes a large amount of human resources, because a right set of data is very particular for MLs to be trained. If the data is not right for the ML to be trained as the right format, then certainly the ML trained will be useless. And whatever amount of effort and time and cost you might be putting will certainly go into waste altogether. Now, of course, the first activity really consumes a large amount of human resources that multiple people should be involved in preparing a large amount of data. And the later activity, which is to train the model, certainly consumes a lot of computing resources. Now, many organizations, of course, do not have access to both of these resources, because I cannot really have a lot of people working on data preparation and at the same time the computing resources in terms of the tools and different other artifacts which are required. The cheaper and often more effective alternative is to use the pre-trained model. A lot of organizations today serve with pre-trained models on different segments, and you can look forward to find one among them which might be fulfilling your needs and expectations. Now, this provides similar functionality to the required model and is used as a basis to creating a new model that extends or focuses the functionality of the pre-trained model. Now, these models are well trained in some fundamental concepts which are capable of doing certain activities, and at the same time you can adapt these pre-trained models, which would be really taking a very less time to just adapt it, and at the same time you can top it up in terms of like desired expectations, that what you want that pre-trained model to do. Now, such models are only available for a limited number of technologies, because not everyone looks forward to train everything right from a different perspective, right? So that certainly could not be available for different technologies. And they are generally available for limited technologies such as neural networks and random forests. We'll be talking about what are neural networks and random forests in our upcoming chapters. Now, for example, if an image classifier is needed, it could be trained using publicly available ImageNet datasets, which contains over 14 million images classified into over 1,000 categories, right? And this is a very simple and straightforward example that you really don't have to do that. This reduces the risk of consuming significant resources with no guarantee of success. These models are well proven, tested, and capable enough to perform those activities precisely. Now, alternatively, an existing model can also be reused that has already been trained on this kind of data set by using such a pre-trained model, which could be a base fundamental for you to further align it towards the expectation. Now, training costs are saved here, and the risk of it not working largely gets eliminated, right? On top of it, we're also talking about another part of it, which is called as transfer learning. Now, transfer learning basically talks about to take a pre-trained model and modify it, right? Not the extension or setting it up and configuring up to meet your expectations, but you can kind of like, modify it or retrain it in a sense that it can do something beyond. Now, it is also possible to take a pre-trained model and modify it to perform the second, that is, different requirement. Now, this is called as or known as the transfer learning, and used to deep neural networks in which the early layers of the neural network typically performs quite a basic task. For example, identifying the difference between straight and curved lines as an image classifier, whereas the later layers perform more specified tasks, which means differentiating between building architectural types. In this example, all but the layers of an image classifier can be reused, eliminating the need to train the early layers of it. Now, you really don't have to do it right from the scratch or the beginning. As simple as that, you may have a pre-trained model which is having some of the capabilities already trained. All you are doing is extending it further to design it to make more expectations. But here, you're just not fitting up the expectations, but you are further training with your personal data what you want the ML model to do the job for. Now, the later layers then retrain to handle the unique requirements for a new classifier. As simple as that. Now, in practice, the pre-trained model may be fine-tuned with additional trainings on the new problem-specific data. The effectiveness of this approach completely or largely depends on similarity between the functions performed by the original model and the functions required by the new model. It's very important that what kind of data you have used in a way to train the model with respect to their existing training. It's as simple as that. Like, you have a student and probably you were trying to train him with certain subject, and there was a teacher who had a different approach to teach this student, but suddenly the teacher left off and there is a new teacher who joined in, and he or she had a completely different way of training people about the same subject. It could be very confusing for the students to adapt to this change, or may not be meeting all their expectations. Sometimes they get completely diverted from the objective of what they want to learn. Now, for example, here, modifying an image classifier that basically identifies cat species to then identify the dog's breed would be far more better than modifying it to identify people accent, right? It's complete transformation. That means you should be looking forward to extend in the similar segment rather than changing the segment altogether. Right? Now, there are many pre-trained models available, especially from academic researchers. Now, some example of such pre-trained models are ImageNet models such as Inception, VGG, AlexNet, and MobileNet for image classifiers, and pre-trained NLP models like Google's BERT. So these are some quick examples which you can certainly use in terms of your base models to be trained further for transfer learning. Finally, putting it up all together, when you talk about the risk of using these things, it's of course not all the good thing comes with all the benefits. You do have challenges associated with it. But the point here is, if you are aware of what are the challenges in dealing with these kind of models, then you can overcome them or minimize them. Sometimes you can mitigate them in terms of like overcoming them by doing the right preparation or preventing them, or sometimes you can even do the required things before so that the risk can be of low level. Now, using pre-trained models and transfer learning are both common approaches to building AI-based systems, but there are some risks associated, which include a pre-trained model may lack transparency compared to an internally generated model, which completely makes sense that of course the pre-trained model will lack transparency because it's built by someone else, and you may not have access to all the internal structures which you could look forward to modify or design. You may be having restricted access in terms of like, hey, you cannot just modify the things which we have already done, and you can look forward to add on more on top of it, but you may not be able to do something, right? Now, next one, the level of similarity between the functions performed by the pre-trained model and the required functionality may be insufficient. It's not really mandatory that it meets all your desired expectations. Don't forget, these pre-trained models are for limited technologies, and certainly your technology and your expectations could be slightly divergent, and in that sense, it may not meet all your 100% expectations and could be challenging sometimes. So we need to take that into account before we start looking forward to get a pre-trained model or look forward to transfer learning. Other one is differences between the data preparation steps used for pre-training model when originally developed and the data preparation steps when this model is used in a new system may impact the resulting functional performance. Of course, the type of data being used to train the system matters to a great extent. It's not necessary that if you can have a change in the pattern of the pictures or data sets, the machine can adapt, right? The ML certainly needs the right approach of preparing the data, that what exactly was the approach, technique, and the layouts which were used to train the model matters a lot. And of course, if your pattern is different, probably you have not given more importance to it, it may have a poor responses or insignificant outputs which may not make sense to your users. Other one is the shortcoming of the pre-trained models are likely to be inherited by those who reuse it and may not be documented. Of course, documentation plays a vital role too about being training a pre-trained model. For example, inherited biases may not be apparent if there is a lack of documentation about the data used to train the model. Also, if the pre-trained model is not widely used, there are likely to be more unknown defects and more rigorous testing may be needed to mitigate this. Point is, of course, we need to make sure that the reusability of any pre-trained model has to be put into papers, documented, so that we have all the references that how exactly we trained it and what kind of informations are we using about the same. Having knowledge of the architecture and getting all the information about it could make your job more easier. Finally, models created through transfer learning are highly likely to be sensitive to the same vulnerabilities as the pre-trained model on which it is based. In addition, if an AI-based system is known to contain a specific pre-trained model, then vulnerabilities associated with it already be known to the potential attackers. Now, that's a very critical thing to be aware of, that if in case your ML models are kind of having any kind of vulnerabilities, they are going to continue inheriting the same to the next level too. So if in case a pre-trained model is well known to an attacker and they know the loopholes in those kind of models, then certainly they can continue penetrating into your system as well, and your system could be certainly vulnerable, right? We might be looking forward to opportunities where we can try to overcome these barriers. But again, there are research going on, so we may not have a clear solution right now how exactly a pre-trained model can be overcome with security. But you can look forward to be aware of that what kind of vulnerability does it have and how that will impact your business process, right? So put together, these are what we need to know about our pre-trained models and transfer learning concepts of AI-based systems. And of course, you got a good understanding of that. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.